What's up, guys? I hope that you're doing well. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hope that you're doing well. I wanted to just do a live. I've been having conversation with a few people that I deem near and dear to me, and we were having a conversation about gossip. And if you saw the short that I posted yesterday, or if you follow me on Instagram, I posted it a while ago, but I posted the short on YouTube just yesterday. And what's up, Mercedes? We were having some dialogue, and so I wanted to just come on live and talk about a few things, right? I think that our generation, man, we're so enamored with knowing the latest and the greatest gossip about people that, and it's not from my standpoint, and this is all perspective, right? From my standpoint, it's not gossip in a good way, because I do believe that there's a level of gossip and he said and blah 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 that could be in a positive way, in the sense of I heard great things about someone, right? We could be at a point where we hear great things. What's up, Adrian? What's up, Mika? Um, from live to live. Well, who live was y'all on? But I think that we can hear great things about someone, and the challenging part to our culture and our generation is that the good stuff does not get shared, right? So the only thing that we continue to share is the stuff that's juicy, the stuff that people want to talk about. And here is what here is what's crazy to me is that I was I saw someone talking about, like, they were on a live, well, not a live, they were on a podcast, and they kept mentioning someone, right? They kept talking about this particular person. And then they said, well, yeah, this person wants clout. And I was like, but you're the one talking about them. And then I'm finding that our generation, because we have nothing to talk about that's going to make people listen to what we have to talk about, then we now have to talk about other people so that it is interesting enough for people to uh to tune into the conversation. Because if we talked about us, that's not interesting enough. So we have to talk about other people for it to become interesting. But here's the caveat. How can you say, this person wants clout, but if you didn't mention them, nobody would even knew that y'all knew each other? So it seems to me that the reason why people are paying attention to your name is because you're speaking somebody else's name. And then this is the word that I got. LJ, where you been, man? But this is the word that I got from it. Some people will only have a name by using your name. Some people will only have a name by using your name. The the challenging part to our our dynamic in our culture and the things that we're in right now is that the negativity gets so much praise. And so when somebody wants something to get people's attention, when people want to go viral, when people want clickbait, whatever the case is, we utilize other people's names. People have built platforms off of talking about LeBron James. Um, People have um, um, created literally shows that the whole show is geared around gossip, right? Is geared around negative depictions of other people. So we tune in to see who this person is going to talk about, what's going to be their point of conversation, and things of that nature. And I think that although that may get levels of traction and it may get levels of attention and people may pay attention to it, the longevity of that um, uh, may phase, right? Because what happens when you've talked about everybody and then you got to talk about your like your perspective of life, or your intellect, or your knowledge, or your wisdom. You don't have anything to draw from, and talking about those things aren't interesting enough for your platform, because you built your platform um, on chasing other people's influence or their viability. Here is what I here is what I've come to realize, though, is that the people that are being talked about are the people in which that I want to know. Want to know why I want to know them? Because this person that's talking about them wouldn't have anything to talk about if that person wasn't somebody. If that person was a regular degular, there would be no point in talking about them. The reason why people are talked about is because people see the greatness on someone. So what we have to also be careful for, I don't know if you're a believer watching this. I'm not forcing my belief on anybody, but what I am saying is that we have to be very careful of when we're carrying gossip and we're hearing gossip, because gossip is a root of witchcraft. Because majority of our gossip and whatever that is, we're trying to change the way other people see someone. I want to change the way you see them. So let me tell you about this. Even though it may not have any direct connection to them, it may not have anything to do about them, but I want you to change the way in which that you see this particular person, because I don't like the fact that you like them so much. I don't like the fact that you repost them. I don't like the fact that you say great things about them. I don't like the fact that you have nothing negative to say about them. It is with the idea in mind. I want to change how you see them, and so therefore I have to say all types of things concerning them, because I want you to view them differently. And if I want you to view them differently, I have to give you a negative connotation of how you may see them. And here is what I realized. I posted this in my on my channel on Instagram. I posted this on my channel on Instagram, that I literally said that I stopped learning people through people, because I started to realize that different people bring out different people. If I talk to someone, and I'm gonna use Mercedes, not sensitive. I can mess with Mercedes. Um, if 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 I said to someone, "Oh yeah, man, I just had a conversation with Mercedes," and they knew Mercedes, they say, "Well, Mercedes super guarded. You got to be careful with her. She's this way, and she's this way, and she's this way." Maybe she was that way with you because you did something, or maybe she was that way from you because she picked up something. Maybe she was that way with you because you talked about her to somebody else and she knew that you talked about her, so she wasn't giving you a lot of energy. So to take on that person's perspective and reality as if that can be my interaction, when I have not gauged where it came from, because we never consider the source. All we do is want to carry the message. So because we never consider the source, so now it's like, yo, I got a message, somebody said something, and now I want to rock with that. But here's the reality. The truth is, you just want to have something to rock with. And the challenging part to our culture and our generation is that if nothing negative is said about someone, or if they don't have any negative words or connotations from somebody, they feel like, oh, there must be something there, and we got to dig until we find that something. We have to find something wrong with everyone. Someone asked me this in the conversation that I was having. They said this. They said, "Yo, well, I think a part of this is like to help it," because I was like, "Yo, like, because I just don't want to be problem, talking, right? I want to be like, well, what's the solution to kind of maybe change or shape our culture a little bit differently?" And their exact words was, "Well, we need more leaders. We need more black leaders and black male leaders." And I told them this. I said, "You want to know why we probably won't have a lot of leaders stand up and become the leaders that they're called to be? Is because, for one, a lot of leaders have a past, or they have a present, whatever the case may be, right? And nowadays, we're so consumed with discrediting anybody that tries to do anything that now we have people that are afraid to step into their space that they're supposed to be in because they're afraid that like they're gonna dig up things that I said, things that I did years ago. And right now, I believe, man, if we had like if Martin Luther King was alive, we wouldn't be talking about the stuff that he's doing to push forward a movement. We'll be talking about the fact that, oh, he cheated on Coretta. We're so consumed with people's personal lives as an avenue to discredit what they're saying. So we probably wouldn't listen to anything that they were saying because we'll say, well, I'm not listening to them because they did so and so and so and so. But let me help you. Two things can be true at the same time. Somebody can have an area where they struggle, and somebody can have an area where they're not proud, and somebody can have an area of extreme flaw and still be a great leader. I know we're not, a lot of us aren't mature enough to even digest that from the standpoint of like, if they're not perfect, I don't want to hear what they got to say. And I get it. I don't know who you're going to hear from. Like who are you going to listen to ever if we're waiting for a level of perfection? And so what that says is that I believe that we're creating silos and spaces for ourselves to be the judge and the juror of everything, because if we're waiting for somebody perfect that we're never going to encounter before we hear, before we take leadership, before we take notes, before we trust someone, I get all of that. But what I am saying is that we have to learn how to accept what we can. My grandfather used to say, eat the meat and spit out the bones, meaning that if it's not applicable to you, then hey, it just don't apply to you. Keep it trucking. But somebody gonna say something that is applicable to you. My grandfather always told me, he said, like, yo, you can believe in Jesus Christ. You are a Christian. My grandfather was a pastor, a missionary Baptist pastor. He said, you can believe in that. He said, but you can talk to people that are Muslims. You can talk to people that are atheists. You can talk. He says, because even if y'all don't have the same beliefs, he said, there may be something that God will use anything to speak to you. And our problem, I believe, in our culture right now is that we're looking for ways to discredit anybody that says anything at any given time. We search for ways to discredit somebody's influence, credibility, the things that they say. And so handling that is a very challenging place. I remember somebody told me, they was like, yo, like, oh, well, like, I wanted clout. And then one of my very influential friends was like, you don't know how many times I've invited this dude to events, parties, whatever the case is. And AD be like, hey, I'm building my own thing, bro. Like, they got their thing. That's like been my motto. Like, they got theirs, I'm trying to build mine. And it since then, I've held on to that from the standpoint of our culture literally just wants to have something negative to say about anybody. And I'm saying all of this to say that I believe that we need to mature in our approach to receiving people. And also, I think we need to mature in our approach of listening and also carrying said things. We have to start to consider where this is coming from, who's saying what, and also what do they gain from you getting the information that they gave you. Because there are plenty of people that gain from you changing your perspective about someone because they gain a level of, oh, well, if they're not listening to them, then they're still open to listening to me. I can't tell you how many times, I pastored a church, people would come to me and that would be almost their vow of loyalty, that they would come to me and try to talk about their previous pastor. Like, I'm with you, man. My old church and my old pastor. I said, don't talk to me about your old pastor. Don't, because what that tells me is that I'm no exception to the rule. The moment you get mad at me, you can say whatever you want to say about me. I'm just who you're choosing to listen to this week or this month or whatever the case is. But I'm probably going to make you mad at some point because we're human. And so if you leave this space, if you left that space dogging out that person, you're probably going to leave this space dogging out me. I'm no exception to the rule. And I'm just trying to get us to open up our minds and understand that things may be brought to our door, but it's up to us to accept them, and it's up to us to entertain them. And the more we entertain them, the continuation of it being brought to our door is a thing. Because I feel like being talked about and being lied on and being gossiped about is the tax that you pay to walk in your calling. If you're not going to do anything, nobody's ever going to talk about you. If you're not going to push forward in your vision, if you're not going to try to step out there and accomplish things that, that God has placed on you, if you're going to be average or below average, nobody will ever talk about you. But if you're going to be great in the area, or if you are going to stand out in the area, it is the tax that you pay. It is the tax that you pay for a level of you walking into everything that you're supposed to walk into, and your calling and your purpose and all of those amazing things. It's a tax. And unfortunately, somebody got to pay the tax. But you cannot be like me in the sense of allowing that to stop you from doing and going after what you know that you're supposed to be doing. I have allowed it to stop me for years. You just got to deal with it. And I know that's easier said than done and also let me say this, you don't have the time nor the energy to stop building what you're building, to confront, denounce, deny everything that is said about you. Because if you do, you're not going to build anything. It is your ability to your ability to keep building in the face of that allows you, and it builds a muscle in you that you're going to need for where you're going. It's a muscle that has to be built. And every time you want to clap back, every time you want to say something, every time you want to go about something a certain type of way, you have to position in your mind, and you got to position in your heart that God is building a muscle. And the longer I restrain, that's what building muscle is. Like it's the restraint against a weight, right? It's a restraint against some pressure. And so in order for you to build a muscle, it's your continual practice of pushing against this pressure, pushing against this restraint. And so it builds a muscle on the physical side, but also in a spiritual side, also in a mental tenacity, also in a resilience. It requires you to embody everything that you need to embody for your strength to be built in a particular area. This is the reason why you can't afford to do people how they do you. You can't afford to talk about people how they talk about you. It ain't worth it. But then also you can't afford to do it because you don't know what's going to be on the line for you to lose based upon your level of response. Everybody doesn't have the same grace, and they wouldn't be talking about you if you weren't doing something. If you were a nobody, would nobody care? If what's on your life is a threat, you are a threat. Who you are, not in the stage of where you are right now, because I know you're probably saying, yo, AD, as broke as I am right now, as without as I am right now, you mean to tell me I'm a threat right now? I don't even have. And it's not the right now that they're considering. What they are considering is the future version of you. So they're talking about you now for you to get distracted and for you not to go after the things that you're called to go after. I think that, you know, we have to acknowledge the fact that even the attack is a confirmation of who you are. Even your problems prophesy. The strength of your attack is also the strength of your calling. I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that even your problems prophesy. Jacqueline, let me read this. We all have allowed this weapon to stop us. At some point. We need courage, tenacity, and resilience in these streets to stay focused on purpose. Let me tell you something. That is the absolute truth, because we have. I know I have. If this is helping you, give me a thumbs up on this video. But I know I have. I have allowed things to stop me that I literally was like, yo, like, what? Like, what? I couldn't believe it. But also, like, a part of what you can't believe is that people will be attacking you the way that they are. And you're like shocked. But it's an indication of who you are. It's an indication of who you are. Now, you have to be at a point to where you say, you know what? The amount of kickback that I'm getting, God must have something amazing in store for me. He must have something amazing on the horizon, because I wouldn't be hit with this much resistance. I wouldn't be hit with this much fight or these many problems or issues, whatever the case is. I wouldn't be hit with this if I wasn't a threat. You are a threat. And it's not a threat of your right now. It's a threat of your future. It's a threat of your future. And if you don't realize that, you're going to spend your days being naive about the fights that you're fighting and not acknowledging what's on you, because you're trying to play it safe so much. So I just wanted to give you this. I'm trying to do better with my content. Listen, something gotta be, something gotta be amazing in store. It absolutely has to be. And that's what I'm choosing to believe every single day. I'm choosing to believe that every single day. I'm choosing to tell myself that God must have something amazing in store for me. And I am trying to live this out every day. And the thing about it is that that scripture in Galatians 6:9, where it says, don't grow weary in well doing, for you should reap the harvest in due season if you faint not. You should reap the harvest in due season if you faint not, meaning that literally the harvest is going to be there. But the prerequisite to you receiving the harvest, you seeing the harvest, you enjoying the harvest, is your level and your ability to see it through. If you faint not. So that if is a responsibility, meaning God is doing what he said he was going to do. Don't grow weary in well doing. In your doing well, don't grow weary. For you shall, whenever we see shall in the Bible, that's a promise. For you shall reap the harvest. You shall. But then there's an if, because we serve an if and then God, right? If my people will humble themselves, and then I will, right? If you confess with your mouth that your Lord and Savior is your personal Lord, is your personal Lord and Savior, then you will. So he's an if and then God. And so when he says like, yo, like the harvest is there, but you won't see it if you faint. And I think what happens is that we allow the chatters of the chickens to make us faint, to not see the blessings of the eagle. We're not the same. You may have wings like I do, but we're not the same. I ain't never seen a chicken fly, ever. And you're an eagle. There are certain things that are going to be vastly different. A chicken walks on the ground and we are concerned about the chatters of the chickens. We are concerned about the gossip, what's being said, and all of those things. What that tells me is that we ain't flying high enough. We ain't flying high enough. You got to go higher. If you still hearing, I've been telling myself this for the past 2 days. If I'm still hearing the chatters of the chickens, I'm not flying high enough. You may have wings like me. You may have feet like me, but there's something different on me. It allows me to go higher. And if I don't go higher, guess what? That's on me. That ain't on God. It ain't. And all I'm trying to get you to do is to go higher. That's all I'm trying to get you to do, because you can't change the levels of witchcraft and manipulation that people are going to live in. And now what we have is that we have we have people that are dressing manipulation in, oh, I'm just concerned, so I just want to tell you, I just want to let you know, I just want to give you a heads up. And we're saying that we're looking out. But in all actuality, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make somebody privy to the negative things that have been said about somebody so we can change the way in which that you see them. You're giving them too much of your time. You're giving them too much of your attention. So therefore, since you are, then, I want to change the way that you look at them. They ain't as perfect as you think that they are. They ain't as good as you think that they are. And what happens is that if we find one area where we can discredit somebody, we try to discredit their whole life. You find an area where they didn't do something right, and you're like, see, that's the reason why I can't. And stop utilizing other people's failures as your reason on why you don't do something. We do that all the time. See, that's the reason why I don't go to church right now, because everybody messed up. Well, we all messed up. Come in with that mentality. We all messed up. We all need God, and we all in here together. I don't not go to the hospital because everybody in there sick. If I'm sick enough, guess what? I'm going to the hospital. So to stop me from getting healed because other sick people are around would be crazy. And also, to reject the medicine the doctor gives me based upon him having an issue would be crazy. All I'm telling you is that maybe it's just time for us to go higher. In all things. In all things, go higher. Please. In all things, go higher. That's all I'm saying. That's all. We're hearing so many chatters of the chickens, man, and we got to go higher. We don't eat the same. We don't fly in the same terrain. We don't do the same things. We don't operate the same. So therefore, it's time for me to go higher. And again, like I said, some people are only going to have a name by using yours. That's how powerful your name is. That's how powerful you are. Is that some people only have a name by using yours. So they have to drop your name for people to start to pay attention to what they're saying. Because if they talked about them and their space isn't interesting enough. So I have to talk about somebody else because I need people to listen to me. They won't listen to me if I talk about me. So I need to talk about somebody else so that they pay attention to me. It's a clear indication. And while I'm on this topic, before I let you go, because I done been on here almost 30 minutes, before I let you go, I think too, like we're in a battle within social media of weighing and trying to discredit, or like we weigh in on struggle, right? So if I say, I use this analogy on the podcast I was doing yesterday, but if I say, man, it's hard to be a black man right now, then you have a black woman say, oh, so you think it's easy to be a black woman? And it's like, I'm not trying to discredit your experience. I'm just sharing mine. Me highlighting my struggle does not discredit or devalue yours. In the same way, if you say it is difficult for a black woman, and I can hear that, and I can sympathize with that. I can empathize with that. I don't know that experience, and just the same way you may not know mine, but we can embrace each other, and we don't have to fight on struggle. I'm better than you, or you worse than me. I'm worse off than you, and I'm worse off. Not we don't have to weigh in on that. But the only way we're going to get better is that we work together. All I'm saying is, let's go a little higher. Listen, just go a little bit higher. Agent said something you said that stuck with me for years. Someone had to put my name in the wind. That's right. How else do people become privy to your greatness? That is, you know, and Adrian, I remember that. I don't remember what message it was, and I don't remember what, like, I don't know if it was like a Bible study or whatever. But I remember saying like that sometimes God uses, because we believe in Romans 8:28, right? And for we know that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and that are called according to his purpose, right? And although people may speak ill of you, negative of you, it's going to make certain people are going to be smart enough to say, but you a little messy. Let me go and listen to this person. Let me go and hear this person out. And they start to pay attention to you, and they're like, they not what this person said. And could it be that God used the gossip to put your name in the wind, to land on the ears of those that are wise enough to discern the difference between what's true and what's not? God will use any avenue to get you to the place where he remotely wants you to be. Yes, and some people heard about you through gossip. Some people heard about you from an ex that don't like you. And some people, but however they heard about you, just make sure that when they show up, that they get the real version of you, and they don't get the version that you've become based upon the level of hurt that you've experienced. So that's my little TED talk for today. This random pop-up. We do have mentorship Monday, next Monday. So we'll be back on. I'm gonna do it on here. I'm gonna do it on YouTube. So we will probably be sending out the information for it probably Friday. And yeah, this whole thing, man, is, we'll talk more about it on Monday, but unless I go live again at some point, which I might. But this whole thing, man, is like, we got to stop playing it small just because people didn't like us or had something negative to say about us or whatever the case is. Because you deserve to show up as your full authentic self, and who doesn't like it just don't like it. It is what it is. But also, it ain't what it ain't. So yeah, show up in your full splendor. Okay. When am I preaching in Dallas? Mika, great question. I'm actually preaching in Dallas this Sunday as well as next Sunday. So I preach the 8th and the 15th in Arlington. in Arlington. And so, oh, no problem, no problem, no problem. Yeah, please share it. Please share it. I hope this blesses someone. Um, no, thank y'all. Thank y'all for jumping on. I just jumped on. I didn't know if somebody was gonna be on. And yeah, make sure you thumbs up it. More interaction we get, the more it's shared. But yeah, I'm in Arlington this Sunday as well as next Sunday at uh, Koinonia Church, Koinonia Church, and I'm there. It's one service. Thanks Danielle. Thanks Danielle. Thanks Jacqueline. Um, they have one service, I think, at 10 a.m. They normally have two services, but with the pastor being on sabbatical, they're doing one service. So 10 a.m. Arlington, Texas. I'm there. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I actually got to send off my stuff today as far as what I'm preaching. So we're gonna have a good time, and it's gonna be good. I believe God's gonna do his thing. All right, LJ, man, it's so good to see you, man. Miss you. I hope you're doing well, man. Love you. I love you so much, man. Okay, for sure. I'll send them to you, Mika, on IG. All right. But I pray you all have a great day. Thank you for jumping on. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your interaction. And I hope this has helped you. Man, if you are still hearing the chatters of the chickens, you're flying too low. It's time to come up higher. And no matter what they've said, no matter what they allude to, no matter all the things, whatever, um, uh, God will God will still get the glory out of it. Um, I said I'm gonna send it to you on IG, but the name of the church, Koinonia. I Yeah, it's a very amazing church. But I'll send you all the information. But I love y'all. You have a great day. Remember, you're doing better than what you think you are, and God is doing more than what you think He is. Again, you're doing better than what you think you are, and God is doing more than what you think He is. Y'all have a great day.